Good morning. Brewing Happiness coming at you a little late this morning. Overslept. Really came close to just saying, gonna not do the show today. But I'm compelled to be here. I'm afraid to miss a day. I'm afraid that I know that in my own life that when I start giving up on things and start skipping, that's the beginning of the end of a quitting pattern that I'm not willing to be a part of anymore. And so here I am. Again, I'm still in this little bit of a slump, discouraged, trying to figure out. No one's watching, just me and the camera every morning. And yet I'm committed to my message, committed to putting it out there. Looked on YouTube yesterday. I have views on videos, just random, I don't know anything about. So again, if we can help one person one time with one message, all worth it, right? So I have been talking about, as you can see, discouragement, no makeup, sleeping late, not wanting to, or getting discouraged at being here every morning by myself, talking to myself, no listeners. Realize that my timing is bad, that my time slot is a bad slot. So I'm going to think about changing that, because there's nothing wrong with things. It's not quitting to adjust, right? It's not quitting to see that things aren't going well and you're not moving in the direction, or not moving quickly enough, or not getting to the goals that you're set, in spite of doing the things that you think you should be doing. Not that I'm doing all of those, but I'm justifying to myself that if I make changes to the time, to the title, to the format, that's okay. I'm still in alignment with my ultimate goal, which is to show up here every day and have something to say every day. So I thought I would talk today about, yesterday I talked about discouragement, how much discouragement I had, and kind of just the willpower to keep on keeping on. But today I thought it's better to talk about actual, what do you call it? Tactics, strategies, ideas, practical tips and tricks. I bill myself as offering practical tips and tricks to happiness because, well, let's just face it, that's the meshing of my left and my right brain. My happy creative, I'm the queen of happiness, and my very analytic and specific logical left brain that puts everything into practicality. I go back to my roots. I'm from Missouri. Show me. So I love ideas. I love to talk about ideas, but at the end of the day, show me. You got to show me that they work. So that's what I thought I'd do today, is talk about a few of the ideas, and a few of the ideas that help me stay on path even through discouragement, because nothing I bring to the table here, nothing we talk about, nothing I offer is something I personally have not tried to do myself. So good morning. One more cough, because I didn't do my, again, I'm lame today. I didn't do my warm-up exercises, which exercises your vocal cords. So this is like my first speaking this morning. I'm lame. I didn't do my makeup and hair. I just showed up, but I'm here. So let's talk about this. It's really unrealistic to feel hopeful and inspired 24/7, right? Even the most motivational, I'll bet you even Mother Teresa felt discouraged at some moments. Even Jesus had his moments of doubt and discouragement, right? The Garden of Gethsemane. So that tells me these are just normal part of the cycle. Again, if we talk to the pattern of data of growth and change, never goes straight up. It's a jaggedy line. And sometimes you're just in the downward parts of that variation, which is where I find myself right now, which means some days I don't need to be motivated. I just get up and know what I want to do. Other days, today, I'm looking for some motivation. So I thought I'd just talk about that I'm still dedicated to the cause, but sometimes you got to reach into your bag of tricks, right? The people that, the folks that accomplish things, that keep on keeping on in spite of setbacks, judgments, critiques, negativity, being told no, rejection. That's the word I'm looking for. Rejection. The people that keep on keeping on had a plan, right? They had a purpose bigger than that moment of discouragement. And so that's number one in my bag of tricks of doing my. Well, first I'm gonna do my tricks of I will call it my best Stuart smiley. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. So we start with some affirmations that, or start with tools that help us change this discouragement. And one of the things I like is affirmations, right? A positive statement, taking a negative thought that's running through your head. Oh, I'm never going to be successful at this. I keep trying and I'm not where I want to be. The people aren't responding the way I want. I'm not having the success I want. Turn that around. I work every day towards success because I see the big picture. I celebrate every day's showing up as an accomplishment because I know these steps are leading to my ultimate success. I'm making these up on the fly, but these are the kinds of affirmations that I write for myself. And right now, as I'm feeling discouraged, that's the kind of affirmation I'm going to take, right? The statement of that negative self-talk that we are all prone to, that there's almost no one who escapes maybe it's just me. Maybe this is not true for everyone. Maybe not everyone works hard to make sure that their self-talk is kind and supportive and loving inside their head, because the natural inclination is to listen to the other guy telling you don't got what it takes. You can't make it, right? But then you got this guy, you can do it. You can do it. And training yourself to listen to the you can do it guy is what we're talking about, right? Daily affirmations are simple statements that challenge and contradict that negative thought that's going on in your head. Short, long, simple, complex, specific as you want it to be. This is you talking to you. This is you channeling the message of the universe. The message of the universe is not, you're not good enough. You can't do it. The message of the universe is, you can do it. We're all here with you. You already have everything you need. If God gave you the idea to create something, then he also gave you the talent, the willpower, and the ability. You just have to take action, right? So, affirmations help us shift our consciousness away from the perceived failures and inadequacies towards your strengths. What we think about, we bring about. What we focus on is what we get. So if we focus on, I'm not good enough, I'm never going to accomplish this, it's not going the way I want, I can't take another rejection, that's what we hear, that's what we feel. But if you can train your mind to focus on I'm not there yet, but I'm going to keep trying. Every day I get a little better at this, and every day I put another notch in my belt. I put another lesson on the table. I move closer to my goal every time I just show up, right? Affirmations focus on your positive, your strength qualities. They help you. It helps us remind ourselves to respect ourselves, that we want to improve. That just the very act that you are cognizant about this, and that it's a desire, and that you're willing to put some brain power and thought and effort behind. Congratulate yourself for that. Change is hard. Changing habits is hard. Acquiring new thought patterns is hard. Avoiding old thought patterns is hard. So congratulate yourself for wanting to do it. Don't beat yourself up because you're not that great at it yet. You'll get there. If you just 80% of success, just showing up, you just keep trying, you're going to get there. And that's the message for today, isn't it, right? It's about what can you do today in spite of the discouragement. And the reminder, like I said, that you want to improve is rewarding yourself. It's feeling great about you. You can't move forward when you feel bad about yourself. You're not advancing yourself when you're beating yourself up and kind of playing blame game, the blame game, recrimination game. The blame, shame, and recrimination game is what I meant to say, right? Why didn't I do this better? Why can't I do it faster? How come nobody? Whatever. That's not helping, right? So there's a little science behind this. Your neuroplasty is the plasticity of your brain. It's the ability to give way as we create new thought patterns and new habits, new thought patterns, as we change our self-talk from the ingrained paths to the new ones. Think of this as a little country road, right? There's a path, and it's pretty well worn because you've been thinking the same thoughts over and over again. So, right? It's there, but we don't want to take that path. We already know that path. We already know it leads someplace we don't want to go. We're changing things, right? We're changing things from the path of self-doubt, self-talk, We're changing ourselves to the path of self-love, self-worth, self-value, self-pump-up, self-motivation, right? So we see the path. It's well-worn, easy to go down, well-worn. We already know how to do it, right? Or we choose the road less traveled, the field of wheat, where we're going to have to actually crunch down those obstacles and make a new path. This is a visual that helps me. This is an allegory or a story that helps me. I'm a visual person. I can envision myself when I'm feeling discouraged and I'm going to stick to my new path. I can feel myself crunching down that tall grass in my way, right? That helps me know. That's what this is. This feeling I'm having is me crunching down this grass. It's me still putting one foot in front of the other in spite of the fact that the road is less traveled. So, neuroplasty is your brain's ability to let you through. Neuroplasty is whether you're walking through an open field and you're just crunching down some grass, or you're walking through an overgrown jungle where you got to machete the stuff out of the way, right? Neuroplasty is your ability to create new neural pathways, new ways of thinking, new ways of talking to yourself. Well, wrong way. New ways of talking to yourself. I'm not going to and the really good, and our brain's ability to make these changes. I'm talking as if it's tough. It's there. Is if you put a little effort behind it and can just, consciously make sure you're walking the road less traveled each time until it becomes the beaten path. But affirmations are great, but we also want to be able to use our brain's malleability, its ability to change, adapt, and grow. We want to use that to our advantage. So the number one thing is whether you are, your brain has trouble distinguishing. Excuse me, my notes are on a different PC this morning, so I'm bobble-headed. Your brain has trouble distinguishing between actual reality and your imagination. Right. See, this is the thing. To the subconscious, all the same. They can't tell the difference if it's reality or not. When you hold thoughts in your head, when you think them creatively and you infuse them with emotion, your brain thinks it's happening. Your brain thinks that dream is happening just as if you truly were walking the paces and going through it. Brain can't tell the difference. So every time you practice thinking like a boss, right? Every time you practice thinking through the situation of you successfully breaking through the barrier, overcoming, achieving, arriving, your brain just thinks it's happening, right? Your brain's just like, oh, yay me, go big me, look what I did today. Well, what does that do? Build your confidence, build your self-esteem, gives you a track record of experience to look back on, even if that track record's in your head, right? Your brain says, I could do this. And little by little, those neural pathways, that growth that you're hacking down doesn't need to be hacked down because you've cleared a path. You've cleared a clear and determined path that you walk on, right? Creating So when you create the mental image of yourself accomplishing something, right? We're all talking about, I'm here, I want to be there, wherever it is. You want to run a marathon, you want to get promoted at work, you want to get a new job, you want a new boyfriend, you want a new look. It doesn't matter. What are you trying to accomplish? You want to earn so much money. The list goes on. The problem doesn't matter. The process is the same, right? And so you create the mental image of yourself achieving whatever it is, getting a new job, doing the bungee jump, doing the bungee jumping, even though you're afraid of heights. So your brain thinks you did it. Get all the benefits from doing it, from playing that in your head, right? It activates the parts of your brain that the actual experience would activate. Again, your brain doesn't know. And regular repetition, one time, okay, maybe one time it doesn't do it, but regular repetition of these thoughts, well, again, struggling with two-handed notes here today. Regular repetition convinces your brain it is reality. Regular repetition of playing the I can do it movie in your head, which I have not been doing a lot of lately. I must say, what have I been focusing on lately? The I can'ts, the I don'ts, the I don't haves. I'm like my own test subject, right? I'm like my own guinea pig. So instead of, we got to change the way we think. Instead of I am a terrible interviewer, I'm probably not even the best candidate, I'm not going to get this job. You walk into that attitude, what is the true? Trust me, other people can see your thoughts. Here's a little secret. None of us are that good of actors. Maybe those of us who make $20 million a picture are. But the rest of us kind of communicate what we're feeling, whether we say it or not. Just going to say that. People can sense how you feel. And when you say, I'm a terrible interview, I'm probably not the best candidate, I'm probably not. There's no way they're going to hire me. When you say that to yourself, they hear it. They hear those thoughts. And hard for you to impress anyone if you're not impressing yourself, right? So replace it with, I have all the necessary skills and experience that they're looking for. I am a perfect candidate for this job. And even further, you can even go further and accept the job in your brain. I'm so grateful and thankful for this opportunity. And then infusing it one step further with an affirmation, visual support. I call it playing the movie in your head. Let's say you're interviewing for a job and you're worried about this job because you really want it and you want to make a good impression. Oh my God, I'm not going to be the best candidate. So, okay, right? This is what we get ourselves into. And then, like I said, we walk in with these thoughts, and the truth is, folk can read your thoughts. So you change those thoughts, right? You change those thoughts by having an affirmation. Good morning, my friend Betsy. You change those thoughts by saying to yourself, I am the best candidate for the job. I can do this. And then if you want to take it even a step further, you do what I call creating the movie. Okay? In your brain, you're going to author. You're going to visualize. You have all the movie making production tools you need right here in this little creative pod right here. Right? So you're going to create a little movie. You're going to see yourself, watch yourself getting the job, reaching across the desk and shaking hands, coming home and throwing your arms around a loved one and telling them, oh, yay me, I got the job. Right? Doesn't work. Does it guarantee you get the job? No, of course not. But it makes you walk in having accepted the job in your head, physically, visibly confident, and in your head in the right place, that thank you for this opportunity. I'm the one that you're looking for, right? Infusing that little movie with emotion is the secret. So play the movie of the actions of you reaching across and shaking hands or getting the hug, but also you got to feel it. How are you going to feel that day? How great are you going to feel about yourself? How excited will you be? Feel those emotions. Pull them into the movie. The more connected you are to the moment, the more your brain thinks it's real. The more your brain thinks it's already happening. And then you're not nervous when you go in. Your brain's like, we got this. We already did this. I've seen this movie 100 times. I know how it ends. And then your brain, your spirit, your soul, your collective, your best self will step in and help make sure that you bring about that ending that you've convinced yourself is yours. Again, going to need to take my own advice. I give great advice, and I don't always take it, and this is a great opportunity for me to practice what you preach, right? And the thing about this little movie here is you proactively do play it 100 times. Every time you start to worry about it, every time you think about it, while you're brushing your teeth, you play this little movie in your head. Play it so that it's repetitive. One time is great, but it's not enough, right? Play it over and over and over again. You can make it grow. You can add rich details every time you play it. Give yourself 30 seconds sitting on the potty, right? Like I said, brushing your teeth, having a moment to yourself. Anytime you got 30 seconds, play that movie in your head and feel how great that feeling is. Move on with your day. And anytime you're worried about this subject, anytime you feel a worry or a thought or what happens if I don't, or how am I going to handle this, not going to entertain that thought. You're just going to play the movie in your head. I got this, right? There is MRI evidence that shows that neural pathways are changed and enhanced when people practice self-affirmation. And there's no wonder. I mean, it just makes sense. Think of the pathway analogy, right? You're creating a new neural pathway. A brain scan is going to see that. It's going to see that this pathway that's so well used and so well worn is starting to wither and go away from unused. What happens to a pathway that doesn't get walked? Plus, it's concrete, right? It's just a path. Growth happens. Life happens. It fills in and becomes part of the plane. So you can lose those negative, that negative self-talk. You can let that go. You can see that as a path I used to travel, but here's the new way that I go, right? And they see it in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. Gotten away from the brain talk lately, which I love, but this is where we're seeing the effects of affirmations in your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that is involved in positive evaluation, self-related information processing, the two little voices, right? And it becomes more active when we are talking about our personal values. The closer it is to us and our core, the stronger these things are. Now, the self-affirmation theory was developed by a guy named Steele in 1988, and he backed it with empirical studies, right? No theory is good if you can't prove it. Again, I'm from Missouri. You got to show me. And it has three key elements. He says, through self-affirmation, we are connected to the bigger picture, to the collective responsibility. We see ourselves as more of a daughter, a mother, a poet, the queen of happiness, right? It allows us to be open to the idea of being positive, creative, successful, right? Then, secondly, we can leave perfectionism and embrace our gifts and acknowledge our shortcomings. We appreciate little things we have in areas we value because we're working to become a better person, right? When you know you're working to become a better person, you can forgive yourself for some small, again, the growth pattern has setbacks in it every time. Well, if you know that you're trending upward, you know that you're growing, you're doing all the right things, you're showing up every day, even though you don't want to, even when some days you fall flat and don't, excuse me, quite hit the mark. When you know you care about it, you're working on it, you see yourself getting better, you have a little more forgiveness for the shortcomings, for the times you don't quite make the grade, right? And lastly, we maintain integrity by living the values we want to implement. Nothing works by thinking about it. You cannot think yourself into being a better person. You cannot think yourself into anything, because the thinking is just the spark. It's just the little creative beginning of any change. Action. Success rewards action. And so until those ideas start making a change in behavior and actions, it's just pretty thoughts. Sorry to say this, right? There's an unspoken or even spoken acknowledgement that there's work involved here, right? That there is at least action, putting into action. I say I want to change the way I think. That means when I am thinking my old patterns, I have to be ready to stop and take a moment and say, oh, here I am thinking those old patterns again. I said I wasn't going to do that. Let me take the road less traveled and walk down that path. And oh, by the way, because I knew this moment was coming, I've pre-prepared myself with this little movie of success, or with some little affirmations that I write down and keep around me. Sometimes I sticky them to my bathroom window, so my bathroom mirror. So when I'm brushing my teeth, or I'll put them on a 3x5 card and slide it in my purse. So when I'm got a few minutes to kill, standing in line waiting for somebody, I pull it out and reread it. But when you know that you have, but you know that thinking it is not going to be enough, that there's a little bit of work to do. We become our authentic selves by living, speaking, and acting those thoughts, right? So we have thoughts of improvement and thoughts of who we want to be, and thoughts on who we don't want to be, or thoughts we always want to say, or things we never want to say. As we act on those, as we start behaving more of that future self, as we start adopting the persona of our improved self. We're on our path, we're here, we're going to there, we're going to act like we're there, even when we're here. The more we do it, the closer we get. It's as simple as that, right? We become our authentic selves by living, acting, and speaking consistently with our values. You don't say you want to be a better mother, daughter, grandma, teacher because you want the praise, right? Because you want somebody to say it. No, you want it because you truly want to make a difference. You do want to be a better mother because you want children to have the benefit of a better mother. You want to be a better grandma. I want to be the best noni there is because I want my grandkids to grow up with a set of memories, with a foundation of people in their lives who love them and accept them exactly the way they are. Not because I want to get a pillow stitched with the world's greatest noni. Right? I want to act in ways consistent to our values. So a couple of ideas to make affirmations work even better. Oh, look at me. 28 minutes, no script. What? Well, I had some notes. Anyway, be specific. There are tons of affirmations. Go on the internet, look up your affirmations, but then write them in your voice. If that doesn't sound like something you'd say, it's not going to help you. Write it in a way that is something you'd say. If it says, I am going to endure and be responsible this week, and that doesn't sound like you're going to write, I am going to kick ass at every opportunity this week. What works for you? What makes you respond? What makes you sit up and pay attention? It's about you. It's okay to use anything you see on the internet, even exactly as it's written, as long as you're comfortable and it sounds like it could have come from you. Maybe the affirmation isn't even anything you need to do. Maybe it's just dealing with things. Work's getting you down. It's just not fun this week. Everything has a cycle. Some stuff's more fun than others, right? So maybe this week, when work's getting you down, you remember, I have great coworkers who love me and who I love and who we have a great relationship with. This, my mom used to say all the time, this too shall pass. Everything is temporary. Good, bad, whatever. Doesn't matter in your life. Everything is temporary. Things are tough. This too shall pass. Look for the goodness. Back to the gratitude, right? Back to, I'm so grateful that I have this wonderful job. Is so much better for dealing with than I can't believe these assholes are doing this again. It's up to you. Where do you want to stand? How do you want to end that thought and move on, right? I'm so grateful that I have this wonderful job and these coworkers I know I can count on in a pinch. Sounds like the winner ticket to me. So, anyway, that's our show for today. A little discouraged. You are your best motivator. Remember the big picture. Remember the things you're grateful for. Remember all the blessings in your life. The more blessings you can count, the less the minor things count. If it's something major, start working on the changes you want to make. You're the driver of your life. You get to design and decide. You get to be the person you want to be. And if it takes a while to learn to live that person, it's okay. If it takes a while to be able to manage and handle the consequences, the fallout from being the person you want to be. Maybe we'll talk about that another day. That's a big lesson right there. Anyway, thank you for joining me. So happy to be here at Brewing Happiness in spite of my waking up this morning and coming this close to not doing the show today. Better late than never. Make it a happy day.